Note, the following review video contains adult topics or spastic immaturity. If you don't like what you see, please stop watching if needed. Viewers' discretion is advised. Hey everybody, this is Yes Alex Tim on the Yes Alex Tim channel. And judging by the title, you might be wondering, Alex, why are you doing a movie review on Minions and Monsters instead of your other content? Well, since my last two videos have barely got any views and haven't got any views ever since, I think it'd be better to switch my content a bit in hopes it will reach the right audience. And if it doesn't, then I don't know, I'll just keep making videos until my audience finally recognizes me. I don't know, what do you want? But before we start, I say it's time for a little story time. So during the late month of June, I asked my mom if we could see this movie, and we both agreed on it. So I went to watch the movie in theaters, and about 2 hours later, I shit you not, I went straight to my bedroom, took a deep breath, and shouted, "That was f***ing awful!" Made my mom come into my room and said that I was acting in a facetious manner. She was honestly not wrong about that. To clear this up, this isn't gonna be like most of your other movie reviews since I'm lazy and all that, so I'm gonna try my best to basically summarize the movie and share my personal thoughts. I mean, that is a review, but enough waste your time. Let's just talk about Minions and Monsters. So to start this review, I'll admit it was pretty clever to go from the most recent to oldest Universal logos. It's one of the good things in this movie. The movie actually starts with me and a tour guide leading a group of mostly kids on a tour around the studios. We also get a cameo of George Lucas, who is trapped in a glass box in order to escape, which was also another okay thing about this movie. She then introduced them to James and Henry, two new characters that even the tour is confused on who they are, which is pretty self-aware, which was a little bit mediocre. She then goes on to basically explain the events that happened in the first Minions movie, which if you haven't seen, I recommend you watch it before this movie to understand it. However, there's one thing you should note before I continue. This is when the Minions were in the Dark Ages and they found a spell book. I want you to remember that spell book because it'll come back later. By later, I mean like in 20 minutes or so. James likes to make stories. Henry is James' friend, and Ed is deaf and can only understand through sign language. The Minions then find who they think is a evil cowboy and chase him, but only to find that it was actually just an actor in a Hollywood movie being filmed. And a film director named Max comes in and tells them to leave for ruining his film. It looks like Mario. Afterwards, Queso and Queso 2 come to see the movie that Max made with the Minions and were okay with it. They want to make more movies including the Minions, so Max went out to find them. Once he found them, he told them what to do the certain scene, and they do it in a funny and comedic sort of way. I mean, they're Minions, so we gotta have comedic stuff. But overall, this scene was fine. I thought it was okay as well. So did Max and the other crew, and they made more movies with the Minions. Yes, they were the talk of the town as most of the time went on. However, when the two kids come in, they introduce sound in the movies, and so Max records movies with sound, but the two quesos don't like it because no one can understand Minionese, and they eventually kick them out, and Max had to say goodbye to each of them after being fired. Then James and Henry decide to make a monster movie, but the other Minions still want to look for a boss since they're evil and all that. I also just want to point out one of the new Minions is named Dick, who, and I possibly quote, worked very long and hard. Best movie in the franchise, ladies and gentlemen. Best movie in the fucking franchise. So the main Minions later meet up with Max to help give advice on making a movie, and Max gives them a film projector thing. I don't know what it's called, but he gives it them as a gift from his dad. The minions then use the spellbook to summon a monster named Goomy, who I'll just call Goob, and let me just tell you, you could not convince me he sounds like Trunk from Brawl Stars. Like, once you hear him, you could not tell me they sound the same, but honestly, that's just a nitpick. So Goob agrees to help the minions find monsters for their movie and go out to find them. Meanwhile, the other minions still look for a boss and find a robot named Dorg who looks like Starman from Earthbound, because a lot of people made the comparison. They think he's their new boss. He wanted to take over the world, but then he found had a girlfriend, and now he thinks Earth isn't so bad after all. Thanks for reminding me about Iron Giant, because I too watched that movie and I thought it was better. So Henry then finds the monsters in the bag and finds out that they were evil the whole time. Which is not surprising, because that happened in the fucking trailer! Like, they don't even try to hide the fact that he's a villain in the trailer or the movie in general. Like, that's said to be the worst twist villain of all time. Like, at least give the villain from Turbo and the mayor from Zootopia some credit. At least they didn't have their twist of being the villain the whole time in their trailer! Now, don't take it the wrong way, because I'm not saying they're better than Goomy, because, like, seriously, how could you literally lose a race to a snail? Like, seriously. But in terms of keeping the villainy in a twist, this might be the weakest introduction to a twist villain of all time. Anyways, after Henry sees them, he gets kidnapped by the monsters, and they take part of having him play as the first victim in the movie, with James not realizing that they're in deep trouble, and continues recording the film. Once Irene gets summoned and the humans and minions take notice, they fight against them. Also, I just want to let you know about this scene because it really bugged me. This is a real scene in the movie, by the way. It is actually a real scene. A kid's movie, by the way. So why don't we clear this up? A debatably 35-year-old man can sniff farts directly out children's asses. That's okay. A Seattle replica of Vince McMahon can fantasize about drinking milk directly from a fish's cock. That's also okay. A writer's barely disguised fart fetish can be a movie for kids. That's okay. A snake falling for a drug addiction. That's definitely okay. And having adult jokes like this... Oh boy, this is definitely good for the kiddies to watch. Am I right or am I right? I'm just gonna wrap this up before I get any more copyright infringement. Dork and the minions defeat the monsters and put them back in the spellbook that let them free in the first place. And guess what? Ed was filming the whole time, so they managed to take that footage and make it into an actual movie. In the end, Dork falls in love and they have a kid. James was an Oscar. And the story ends and the movie is over. Oh wait, no it's not! Honestly, there are a lot of spoilers in this review, but this one's the biggest spoiler by far, so I'm just gonna give you guys a moment to think what the ending will be. It's pretty obvious, but anyways. So guess what? This whole movie was actually a film that James was making. And I'll be honest, it actually surprised me. But weren't we all surprised when we saw this? God, this movie sucks! And thankfully I'm not alone on this, because my mom also does like it for it being too inappropriate for kids. But honestly, one good thing about this is its animation, character design, and voice acting. Those things I could stand and appreciate upon. But as for the rest, I just didn't really seem to care much about it. And don't worry, my opinions aren't actually valid. Like, the Turbo villain is still a bad villain, and he's still the same level of villainy as the Paul Blart Mall Cop twist villain. But as for that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, so you can support my channel. Hopefully get it up to at least 30 or 50 subscribers, and thank you for watching. I really need a break and I'm out of breath. Peace out. Again. I'd also like to show some drawings I made after watching this movie. I'll note that I am not a good artist, but yeah, here's some artwork I made. And goodbye, for real this time.